Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to Real Crypto, where we take the markets one leg at a time while keeping the market cycle in mind. And we're going to talk about the best ways for you to buy Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to start out by kind of a general note about opinions you're going to hear on the internet. Okay, I think that's a great place to start this out because hopefully this video has a broader audience than my general technical trading audience. And I want to tell you guys, you are going to see prices on the internet. You're going to see very strongly worded opinions with great analysis, lines on charts. They're going to throw Fibonacci's at you. They're going to look at prior lows from 2017. They're going to do all these other things that make sense to them to kind of show you what they know the bottom of Bitcoin is going to be. And you're going to click on that because it says the bottom, we will reverse at 5,000, whatever that number is. I want to start out by saying no one knows what that number is. Everyone is a false prophet that is giving you a number. Okay. At the same time, I have to hold myself accountable. I have given numbers as well. And at the same point in time, I've also admitted I don't know exactly where it's going to go, but I've given a range, and it's been $3,600 to $2,400. And I've been talking about this range, I think since March, maybe February, somewhere in that time frame, I've been talking about this range in Bitcoin. So just to keep it real, to hold myself accountable as well, I want to let you guys know that up front. Now, there's different ways to buy Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, and since nobody knows where the bottom is, we can't say the best price to buy Bitcoin is X. But I can give you some strategies that you can employ depending on your availability to watch the market, depending on your personality type. They can get you the best possible price that you are able to get for Bitcoin, because trading is not a one-size-fits-all endeavor, ladies and gentlemen. Investing is not a one-size-fits-all endeavor. There's 400 different strategies. Which one works well for you? Well, I'm going to give you 3 strategies to buying Bitcoin, and all 3 of them are perfectly viable depending on your personality type. So the 3 different strategies are this. Strategy number 1 is dollar cost average down until Bitcoin hits the bottom. Now, there's a couple benefits and a couple drawbacks to that. That strategy involves less management. You basically layer in a bunch of limit orders into your exchange and then go fishing. It's very lazy. It requires very minimal time management, but you're not going to get the best fill prices. All right, and we're going to go through the 2014 example of the charts in a little bit here to kind of see how things could play out for you. So with dollar cost averaging down, again, just layer in your orders and go to bed. Check in on it every once in a while. The thing that you risk there, however, is half of your orders not getting filled. Let's say you layer in orders down to 1,300 here. Let's say you have all these levels layered all the way down here into 1,300 because you don't know how low it's going to go, and 1,300 is about the prior high. So you have layered all the way down here. Well, let's say it bottoms in my little box here, which has been my range in Bitcoin for a while. And let's say it bottoms here. Well, about half your orders are not going to get filled. So now you're stuck paying what would be higher prices as you're trying to dollar cost average down, depending on how frequently you check in on the Bitcoin price. You can adjust those averages after we've bottomed. The second way to do it is to wait and buy on a capitulation day. Now, with capitulation, you're never going to get the ultimate low. Okay, in 152, that was the price in 2014. But what you will get is a pretty good price in Bitcoin. So let's go to 2014 real quick, and let me show you what I'm talking about. So here's the 2014 chart. Let me just show you the top. There's the peak in 2014. This is the ultimate capitulation low of $152 according to the Bitstamp chart. Now, obviously, everybody wants to get that print. Nobody's going to get that print. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. But you can get a few days afterwards, we have prints around the $200 range that are not too far off. Now, yes, it is 33% higher, but again, you never do quite know where the bottom is. But let's look at the percentages for these 2 days here. There are 2 days in a row, Bitcoin was down 42% over those 2 days. That is a capitulation move. That is a huge move, and the volume was representative of that. Okay, you have 1 day here which has pretty elevated volume in line with this prior little mini capitulation, and we'll talk about this in a minute. And then we have the next day which is the very large capitulation bottom candle. And this is the ultimate low for Bitcoin going back. So you can wait until we have this capitulation, and you can buy pretty much anywhere in here sub $200. This would be a great place to get into Bitcoin. I'm actually going to raise this bar, and we're going to use 2014 as kind of our, because we have it, it's history, and we tend to be following this 2014 in a pretty similar style. But let's say you get in on the capitulation day, you're paying attention, boom, you've got HODL Bitcoin at $184, give or take, okay? So let's just say capitulation gives us 184. This is obviously going to be your most advantageous price of the capitulation candle, okay? Let's say you get 184, you load up right there, everything. You load up everything right there. It may not be the wisest thing to do. Maybe you want to wait for a little bit, but let's just say you do it and you buy in at 184. Now, I want to come back and talk about this little candle here, and let's kind of go back over here, and I want to mention this candle here is kind of a pre-capitulation low. If you look at the volume, it's definitely elevated compared to previous history. You can see we're contained by this little arbitrary gray line right there, and then volume, boom, gets very elevated. We put in a low. We have a huge bounce. This bounce is actually, I think, 62%. It's a huge bounce. Yeah, 62, 63%. And then we finally roll over to the ultimate capitulation. All right. Now, in 2018, we have this very flat price action here, which is interesting, and we'll see how that plays in the market. But now that we've broken 6,000 definitively, and we actually touched 5,000 for the first time here earlier today in quite some time. This goes all the way back down here to where we first crossed it over here in October, and pretty much erasing all those gains. But as we get lower here, we're going to see a mini capitulation candle. Now, that's what this is. This is a mini capitulation candle. It's not the ultimate low, but it is a place where you could potentially buy. Let's say you do place a buy order here. Okay, let's say you place a buy order right there at about 307. Okay, and then maybe as it goes up, if it goes up and rolls over, maybe you sell it as it gets back down towards that level. Because here's the thing, capitulation really should never be tested. Capitulation is a one-time event. It happens extremely quickly. And I actually have a webinar about this, ladies and gentlemen, on my website. It's Buy Bitcoin Right, How to Buy the Bottom. If you do want to buy capitulation, this is a presentation about how to not buy those fake bottoms and all that stuff. So go ahead and check that out. Price is $22 per webinar. Just want to point that out to you guys. But buying on capitulation is going to get you your biggest bang for your buck. Dollar cost averaging down, let's see what that would have done for you here. So at this stage of the game, I kind of think we're right here on our move lower. Okay, maybe by undercutting 5,000, maybe we're here at this stage of the game. I don't know exactly, but let's say from here on out, you dollar cost average, let's say every $250. Now I'm going to arbitrarily pull this to a few prices. There's nothing super scientific about what I'm doing here. I'm literally just drawing lines on this chart. So you're going to dollar cost average at every single level all the way down here. Continuing. There's 184. You're going to have these going lower than capitulation, meaning you're not going to get filled on some of them. Okay? So let's say this is your dollar cost averaging to the downside from what, let's say this is 5,000, okay? Okay, so let's say this is 5,000 in Bitcoin, and from here on out, you want a dollar cost average into Bitcoin. Well, we bottom out here at the 152, so your average cost is right around this level right there, give or take. From here on the way down, let's say you never make a buy after capitulation. Okay, let's just for kind of brevity's sake here. So $322 is your dollar cost average range. Okay, your capitulation, you're at 184. All right, you're at a pretty good clip, but for dollar cost averaging, you're at 332. That's a significant price difference right there. Okay, you're giving up like 70% right there. That's quite significant. But you can do that if you don't want to manage this position. Now, let's say you can't buy the bottom. You're not interested in buying the bottom. It's a little too risky for you as it's falling all the way through. Let's say you'd rather buy a little bit more safe. Okay, what would that look like? Well, what that would look like is it would still involve the capitulation candle. After this day is closed, you see the insane volume. Look at that insane volume right there. That's pretty much what you're looking for with capitulation. Big price action, big volume. That is your bottom. Okay, so after we bottom, then you start dollar cost averaging, or you kind of take a 2 or 3 position buy, whatever your situation is. So here's our low in Bitcoin 152. All right, let's go ahead and label this. You label in here, so this is our low at 152. If you buy the bottom and you wait till a little bit after, if you're lucky and you time it pretty well, you're going to get 184. Let's say you haven't dollar cost averaged, or you're seeing this video as we're much lower in price from 5,000, and then we end up, let's say we're at 4,000 or 3,700 or so. No one knows where it's going to bottom, guys. Okay, let's say we're down there and then it's too low. You can start dollar cost averaging from there if you'd like, and you'll have obviously a much lower price point. Or you can wait until after capitulation, and then you can start buying. So let's say you place your first buy right here at that 224 level, and let's say you layer in a bunch of buys from this 224 level up into this 296 level. Let's say you're peppering buys in through here. And let's just say your average cost is this, because maybe you're buying earlier in here, okay? So your average price here is 250. So in our 3 different scenarios, we have dollar cost averaging gets you about $322 from here on down. Now this could end up being 4,000 or 3,000. I don't know where we're going to bottom at, right? But you're going to dollar cost average. You're going to get a majority of your positions filled, but you're probably not going to get them all filled. And if you do get them all filled, that means you didn't layer low enough, and you're going to have a higher average, obviously. By waiting until the ultimate capitulation bottom, you bought right here at 184. By being patient, and maybe you have the time to do that. A lot of us have 9 to 5 jobs, and you can't sit and hawk the charts. You can't wake up at 3 in the morning when this capitulation candle is likely to happen. Yeah, that happened to me in 2017 many times, and waking up at 3 in the morning. Oh, that was the thing in 2017, guys. If you don't remember, you were waking up at 3 in the morning to trade. 2018, I haven't done that as much. It's been kind of nice. So 184 for capitulation bottom, 250 for a post-capitulation buy, and 322 for dollar cost averaging in. Okay, they all have their advantages. They all have their disadvantages. You need to decide for yourself, out of those 3 strategies, which you would like to do. Now, there's more strategies than this. Okay, you can do a number of things in regarding to buying Bitcoin from here, but I'm trying to give you 3 definitive strategies. One for a very active market participant interested in buying the capitulation bottom. Another for a more risk-averse person wanting to buy after the bottom. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, when you see capitulation, we should not go back and retest. It should be done. That should be the end of the bear market. And if you look at it, it looks like a pretty big climax, doesn't it? That climactic bottom candle. So when we do see capitulation, you'll know, and then you'll have some time to buy. It probably won't be 100% run immediately. Although I will have to say this Bitcoin did run 100% after the bottom in 12 days. 100.9%. Now that's obviously a loose measurement there in 12 days. So you do have a time to buy Bitcoin as it's lower. All right, but even if you didn't buy here and then you wait, you can still dollar cost average in later for potentially an average price of $250. And if you want to be a little bit lazy about it and don't want to put that much thought into it, you can go ahead and dollar cost average in from some point, and then you'll end up with a higher dollar cost average more than likely. So these are 3 ways you guys can buy the Bitcoin bottom. Again, if you want to learn how to buy that capitulation, I do have that webinar. I do want to mention that there's a lot of good information in there, and you can go to our website, real-crypto.com. Click on webinars in my header, and you can go ahead and watch that. You'll have the recording. You can watch it as many times as you like. So where are we in 2018, guys? What is it going to be? Where's capitulation? I don't have the answer to that, and I'm going to be honest with you, no one has the answer to that. My range for about 11 months now has been $3,600 to $2,400. And we'll see if that ends up being right or ends up being wrong. This is based on historical Bitcoin averages and things of that nature. So don't plan on this being the bottom just because I said it is. Let capitulation lead you to what the ultimate bottom will be. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Let me know what you think down below, or if you have an alternative strategy that people could be, that could potentially lead people to have a good hodl price for Bitcoin. Because really what we're doing here, guys, we're trying to hold Bitcoin for that next large bull run, and getting that low print will maximize all of your returns. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today, and I will see you next time.